Hey everybody, this is Shakiro again, and I am bringing you the Pixel 2 XL review. This is the 64GB variant in the Panda White color scheme. I waited a long time to use this phone, and I've been using it as my daily driver for the last 2 or 3 weeks. And so we're going to get into what I like about it, what I really like about it, what I don't like about it, and some issues that I've actually found that nobody else has talked about, which I find really surprising. So first, though, we're going to get into the box. And I'm not talking about this box. I'm actually talking about the box this stuff came in. And so it's off to the side here. I'm going to grab it real quick. I'm going to toss these things off to the side. And basically, that's the last time that you're going to see that box. Because, again, there's been so many unboxings going on that I just don't feel like we really need to cover it. So this is the box that came in. And you may be noticing right off the bat, hey, what the hell is this? What the hell is that? And then when you open this up, hey, what the hell is that? What the heck is this? And that's exactly what I thought. And I'm coming from a printing background, so I was very perplexed as to why this stuff was on the inside instead of being on the outside. Because usually you'll see this on the outside of a box saying, oh boy, my Google purchase has arrived, hooray! Well, if you think about it a little bit, this is actually very ingenious. So this Pixel 2 XL over here and the Pixel 2s are $600 and $1,000 phones, right? As soon as the Google Store starts shipping these out, they're going to start shipping them out in these boxes. And if you're hearing all the hype about the new Pixel 2s and the Pixel 2 XLs going out to customers, and somebody sees a box that says Google Store en route or just sitting at someone's front door, these are going to be more liable to be stolen. So somebody, I'm not sure if it's somebody at Google or somebody within the logistics chain, said, hey, this isn't good. We're going to probably have a lot of these boxes stolen. So why don't we put the outside, what's normally on the outside of the box, let's put that inside, and then let's put whatever's usually on the inside of the box, the bottom, on the outside, making it a completely plain box until the person opens it up and then finds that there's a Pixel 2 XL in there. So that was really, really interesting to me. And again, coming from a printing background, that intrigued me to no end. So I just thought I'd leave that in there. Pretty ingenious on whoever's part that was to do this. And I'll just leave it at that. But as I'm tossing this away and getting out the phone again, if you go to Linus Tech Tips on YouTube, they actually had a similar thing that happened to their Xbox One X when they were unboxing it. So that's pretty interesting. So anyway, I'm going to probably just keep that over there just in case. So this is the Pixel 2 XL. All right. I'm going to go around the outside of it a little bit. So this is the front of the device, and here's the screen. And the screen is gorgeous. I don't care what anybody else says. I don't care what the media says. This screen is gorgeous. I have a video probably over here to the right-hand side that you may have previously seen that was another Pixel 2 XL video about an issue that I've been having with it that none of the media has been covering. Basically, if you compare this screen with the Nexus 6P, which I compared it against, and unfortunately I can't compare it right now because the Nexus 6P is actually recording this video, and that's going to be actually the last video that I record on the Nexus 6P, and all the rest of them are going to be recorded on here. It's a great screen. I don't care what anybody else says. The blue tinge to it, when I move it like this, I don't care about. Who's going to be looking at their device like this? The correct answer is nobody. Unless you're going to be showing it to a friend, in which case you should go like this, and then have both of you see it looking like this instead of like this. If you want to get in on the action, just do that. I really don't care. I was brought up in an era of tube TVs and front projection TVs, so a little blue tinge to it isn't that bad. And might I add that the blue tinge here, that's actually a filter put in so that people with sunglasses could actually still see a vibrant, colorful screen. So yeah, it kind of sucks that there's a blue tinge to this, but if you actually hold the Nexus 6P off to an edge like this, you'll see an actual rainbow instead of just a blue tinge. So again, I don't really mind that. The next thing that I wanted to talk about the screen is the always listening to music stuff, which usually shows up down here at the bottom. Unfortunately, that doesn't work very much for me because I'm into indie music, jazz music. I'm not into normal, I shouldn't call it normal, but hip hop nowadays, all the popular music that's going on right now in this specific time, I usually don't listen to that kind of music. So I've only ever really listened to a little bit of grunge, a lot of indie music, that kind of stuff, and they very rarely pop up on this screen. So, I mean, it's happened, and it's worked a couple of times, and I think that it's awesome that it's worked a couple of times, but other than that, it's just an interesting little cool feature about the phone that, of course, is also only local, so Google doesn't, nothing goes off to Google servers, which is really, really awesome for the privacy conscious of you. The other cool thing that I found about the screen is what I've been doing here. You tap twice on it, and then it brings up the always on notification screen. You can leave this on all the time, but it's a battery drain, so I turn it off. And basically, if I ever need to find anything, I just tap on the screen and it just comes right up. So that's it basically about the screen. I'm not sure if I can think of anything else, but other than that, it's just a normal OLED display, you know, except for the blue tinge that everybody hates. So let's go along to the right-hand side of it. Excuse me. We have the power buttons. We have the orange power button, and then we have the volume rocker here. I was somewhat disappointed, but at the same time somewhat intrigued that the orange button here was a little bit more neon orange than I thought it would be. I'm not sure if the camera can pick that up as such, but to me it's really, really bright neon orange. I thought it was going to be a more subdued, subtle orange. At first I didn't really like it, but now I'm kind of liking it because it makes the phone really pop. So I do like that. The buttons, very tactile, not squishy at all. All right, so basically they're very tactile. They give you a nice click when you click them. So other than that, the only other thing that I can think of to add about this is that the power button, unlike the Nexus 6P, it doesn't have anything to distinguish it from the volume rocker. The Nexus 6P had a little like etched in like cross pattern, so you can tell, so that when you were feeling the device, you could tell whether it was a power button or a volume rocker. That's the only thing that I found about the power button that I didn't really like, is that it's super smooth and not, you know, it doesn't distinguish itself between it and the volume rocker. But other than that, it's really nice. The back of the device, the camera up here at the top, it does protrude out a little bit, which means that I'm probably going to get a small case that just goes around the outside of the phone. But other than that, I find that this design is really nice. It screams that you have a Google Pixel phone, which is another thing that I really liked about it. And I just think that the aesthetics of this is very, very cool. The white stuff on the back, I don't know how to describe it other than it's basically a mixture between rubber and plastic. It feels really good. It doesn't feel non-premium, I guess, is the best way to describe it. You know that there's a coating on the back here, but you don't think, I mean, it doesn't give the impression of basically, oh crap, we gotta do something to cover up this metal, let's slap on this crap on the back of it. It doesn't give off that impression. It actually feels really nice to the touch. The G down here looks like it's etched in, either it's etched through the white, or it's literally cut out from this white stuff. I don't even know what the heck to call this. But you can also see a little ring of metal around the fingerprint sensor. While talking about the fingerprint sensor, it's a little bit more shallow than the Nexus 6P, but it doesn't matter. To me anyway, it's a very small difference, but it's a distinguishable difference. But other than that, it's very fast. So it always registers all my fingerprints. It's completely fine. It's great. I mean, it has a lot more accuracy than the Nexus 6P does, so I'm happy with that. Nothing around the left-hand side here except for that SIM card slot. This does have an eSIM for anybody that's on Project Fi, which is really nice. I'm going to be reviewing Project Fi here in a little bit because I'm going to be switching off Verizon and going with Project Fi to see if I can save some money and to see how the quality of the phone calls and stuff like that are. I will probably be having that up within the next couple of months here. I'm going to at least want to go 2 months with Project Fi before I actually give a detailed review on it. So let's get into the device itself, shall we? First thing I'm going to talk about is the launcher here. And as you can tell, this doesn't look like a normal launcher, right? And that's because it isn't. I completely got rid of the Pixel launcher. It was garbage. It was absolute garbage. It ate up my battery like nothing else. And I'm sorry for everybody that really likes the Pixel launcher, but to me, I want to have as much battery life as I can, and that day in a glance up top here, number one, ate up space. Number two, it was a resource hog and a battery hog. And number three, the new Google Now, which I got rid of, is absolutely atrocious. They remove the swipe right to delete, which is way to regress Google. Now you have to hit 3 buttons and then you have to choose from a list of stuff to just get rid of one news article. No thank you. I don't want to waste 30 seconds just to try to get rid of a news article, then go into the next one, then try 30 more seconds to get rid of it instead of swiping to the right. That's completely bogus in my opinion. They just the only reason why I can think of why they did that was for business reasons, to get more eyes on more eyes on specific articles. But anyway, so I got rid of the Pixel launcher because it was eating up really a lot of my battery percentage. The first time that I charged this phone up to 100%, I started to check the battery percentages for all my apps at 30% to see which ones were basically eating up my battery, because I went from 100% to 30% in maybe, I'm going to say 15 to 20 hours. And when I did that, I saw that the Pixel launcher had eaten up 14% of my battery life within that 70% of my battery life. Now, as you can tell right now, I have 87%. I literally got this off the charger last night at about 10 to 11 p.m. If I go over here, it's at 87%. Here, let me try to, give me 1 second here. There we go. So it's a bit, so yeah, it's 87%. It's 3 p.m. right now. And it's been 9 hours, 47 minutes since my last charge. My on-time screen usage has been 1 hour and 10 minutes. Now, if I scroll down here, I'm using what's called the Nova Launcher, and as you can tell, that's only used up 1% of my battery. And the Nova Launcher is really great. I really like the Nova Launcher. So basically, the Nova Launcher takes everything that basically any launcher has ever done and has made it customizable. So basically this is the default, or I should say as much of a default layout to the Pixel launcher as I can get without actually getting the Pixel launcher. And it has everything that you can customize between, icons. You can bring them, you can bring the size up and down. You can change the grid pattern. You can only make it so that only 4 icons show up, 4 across, 5, up and down, that kind of deal. But of course, I still have the same functionality as always. I have the squeeze function. I have, the search function. I even also have the Google Now function when I hold down on the home button. Basically, it has everything that the Pixel launcher has, minus the crap that I didn't like about the Pixel launcher. Right? It even still has the swipe up. But unfortunately, the only thing that I couldn't get to work on here is to have that same search bar go up to the top. If I turn on the search functionality, it just shows you an ugly search for box up at the top there, which I didn't want. So anyway, the Pixel launcher, completely out. So that's basically the launcher in a nutshell. I just thought that I would let you know about that. But this is like super smooth, super awesome. I do like the Nova launcher. It costs about $4 on the Android Play Store, or the Play Store, excuse me. If you feel like getting it, believe me, you're going to get your money's worth out of it instantly for how customizable it is. Excuse me. So since we already showed you that before, squeeze launcher. If I squeeze the bottom of the phone, it actually launches the phone, or it actually launches the Google Assistant here. So I found that I thought that this was going to be a gimmick, and I thought that the media was just, playing it up. It's really cool to be able to go into your pocket, hit your unlock feature, and squeeze the phone at the same time, and have the assistant ready for you as soon as you're ready to talk to the assistant. It's really cool, and it has different levels of touch sensitivity. I could literally make it so that when I pick up the phone like this, it will literally go off. Or I can make it so that I have to squeeze it super hard for it to go off. But I mean, I have it set at the exact middle point, and that means you have to give it a pretty hard squeeze in order for it to go off. So I mean, I thought that was really cool. So that's it for the squeeze function. The camera is the next thing here. The camera here is a really, really good camera. I haven't had as much luck with it at low level light as a lot of other people, but I mean, other than that, I mean, look at how detailed that is. Look at how detailed that is. And I mean, I'm zooming in probably about maybe 100, 150%. But that's just nuts for a phone camera. I mean, the edges are super crisp, super clean, and of course, I don't think I can get it very well on this Nexus 6P camera, but it's a very, very good camera. Again, like I said before, it doesn't have it doesn't have as good of low light performance as I thought it would. I've noticed that if you have light setup like I have right now and they're bouncing off of stuff, I found that there's a lot more noise in my pictures if I try to do that rather than just going into an extremely dark place and trying to use the flash. If you're within the environment in a dark scene, I'm trying to explain this in a way that that I myself can understand it. As long as there's no protruding backlight, or as long as there's no light that is bouncing off of areas, night pictures will turn out amazing. But if you have something that's bouncing off, like these cameras or these lights over here, you'll get a bit of noise in your images. So just one thing to keep in mind, all right? So battery life. Battery life on this thing is extremely awesome after I got off the Pixel launcher. With the Pixel launcher, I was only able to get maybe a day and a half, 2 days out of it, tops. If I wasn't using any music or anything for the 2 days, I would be able to get 2 days out of it. After I removed the Pixel launcher, I am happy to say that I can get upwards of 3 days out of this battery, and that's with playing music maybe 4 or 5 hours a day while I'm at work on this phone, which is nuts. And that's with data on. And that's the other thing that I also have to remind people is that if you have Wi-Fi on all the time, Wi-Fi will kill your battery. It will murder your battery. And that's, I don't know why that's the case, but it just does. And as soon as I turn off Wi-Fi and I only go with data from my cell phone provider, it literally just stops sucking battery and it just drips, which is amazing. Now, if you have a capped plan, it's great to turn on maybe Wi-Fi for a couple hours when you're home when you extensively use the device. But other than that, I would suggest that you keep on data for whenever you're not using a lot of internet connected apps, I guess is the best way to put it. Okay, so that's the battery life. Battery life is really, really good on here. The OS as a whole, very good, very snappy. I mean, I haven't had any issues on it, so I mean, it's a very, very good OS that we're going to be upgrading here to Android 8.1 in the future. I may bring out another video with regards to that to see if that fixed some of the issues that I had with this phone. But other than that, the OS itself is snappy. It turns on and off really quickly. It's maybe about 10 to 15 seconds to turn it on, which is really nice. They also have this cool little side button here, and I'm going to try to... yeah, I can't get it too well. But basically they have this new side power button thing where you can turn it off or restart the phone, which is really nice. Yeah, there we go. All right, so the last thing that I have to talk about, and again, like I said before, it's in the video over here on the right-hand side, is the speaker issue. And don't get me wrong, the dual front-facing speakers are fantastic. They are utterly fantastic. But they don't play for the main three things that I need them for, and that would be notifications, alarms, and ringtones. Those three system sounds, or system audio, I should say system sounds, only come out of this bottom speaker. It doesn't come out of the top speaker, which is way louder than the bottom speaker is. So if I have this facing like this in my pocket with this side facing my leg, I can barely hear my ringtones, if at all. And I can definitely not hear my notifications. And that's just terrible. My Nexus 6P, which I'm recording this on, doesn't have that issue. It's got really loud speakers. You can hear notifications all over the place. But, I mean, and this is definitely a software feature because everything else, including this, that sound of locking, and then the unlocking sound, every other system sound has support for dual speakers. It plays, all those system sounds play on both speakers. But why not ringtones? Why not notifications? Why not alarms? Well, it was designed like that. It's a feature. That's not a feature. That's just you being lazy. Google, get your shit together, please. Again, I have this in a video over there comparing this against my Nexus 6P. So go ahead and basically view that video if you would like to. Other than that, I think we're at the end. This is a very nice phone. Is it worth $1,000? To me, yeah, it's worth it. It's definitely worth it if they get that speaker thing fixed. If they don't, probably not, because I mean, you definitely need to hear people calling you and getting in your important emails and the sound of your alarm going off in the morning. That just baffles me that they just basically were like, nah, we don't need that. It's fine. It's fine. Everything else can use dual speakers, but those three things, man, screw them. Nobody's going to be using, text apps, or, nobody's going to be making calls on this, and nobody's going to be using this for their alarm. No way. Anyway, that's all I have for you guys here. Again, this has been the Pixel 2 XL review. Let me know if you have any questions or comments down in the comment section. If you like this video, like and subscribe. If you'd like to look at some of my other videos, hopefully they're at the right-hand side. Otherwise, just click on my name down there and you'll be sent to my main page. So I will talk to you guys later, and hopefully before the year is out, we're going to be having a Surface Book 2 review coming in. I'm not sure which one I'm going to get, but I'm leaning towards the 13.5 inch. So I will talk to you guys then. Later.